What's good, YouTube? That 192, you're back again once again, and today, Shady and I are here for episode 19.5
Woo!
of our Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver Soul Link Randomized Nuzlocke. And we're here today to address some concerns that sprouted from the last episode, and we're very, very calm, we're very, very cool, very, very collected, and we'd appreciate if you guys would be the same. So where do we begin? First things first, we're only doing this because, you know, I've said this before, and I learned this from the Nate Wants to Battle, but we're only doing this because, actually making a video is the best way to portray a message and get it out there, because that's the best way to approach you guys as the fan base. You know, some of you guys might not be on Twitter, some of you guys might not read the comment section, but hey, if there's a video here and it's in your face, you'll listen. So, a few issues that you guys had with yesterday's Soul Link episode was, number one, the idea that the Articuno and Mudplayz pairing was faked. That it was somehow staged and set up, that Shady and I had the nerve to pull something like that off in the Soul Link. Even though the entire game is randomized, Shady and I both have dealt with terrible Pokemon this entire time, but that one pair, we intentionally went into the game and set it up so it was that way.
So now wait, that's my question. I think you guys think that we've literally gone through this whole entire LP, and like Nappy said, had some pretty crappy luck half the time. And then we got to the point where we're like, all right, we need some amazing Pokemon. So we're gonna go with Pokemon that are times 4 weak to rock. I mean, that's my other thing. First of all, a real talk. If I were to ever do this, Yellow Sacred would have been involved in the pair. 100% real talk. I don't care. I would get rid of Ampharos. But then again, you guys are thinking about your typing. Okay, so let's ignore the fact.
This is like some O.J. Simpson. If I would have done it, this is how I would have done it.
Let's ignore the fact that my emotional bond to Yellow Sacred is stronger than any desire to have Lady Loxus on the team. But you guys are saying what we'd have to do is we'd have to go through all this and then decide, all right, this is the pair we're missing. Let's go back and re-randomize the ROM. But not only do we have to manually adjust this location, which is pretty easy, granted. I know some people were saying that's easy. I don't know how to do it. Some people are saying that's easy. But then we'd also have to make sure that all previous routes match exactly what we had in a randomized ROM. Do you have any idea how much time that would take to individually set each route? So on the off chance we go back, which there's so many different ways that Nappy and I can prove that we didn't do this. We could check the time stamp on the last time our ROMs were adjusted, because it would have been when we first randomized them. And that would be a long time ago, whenever that was. We could do what I just said, go back to all our previous routes, and you can go back and watch all the other episodes and make sure the counters, it just doesn't make sense. I'm actually really disappointed that some people would even think that. Like, it kind of hurts a little bit. But
it's disappointing in the sense that, like, you guys can sit there and say that we needed the Soul Link pair, but we didn't actually need the Soul Link pair. Like, we were sitting there and planning out the episodes, and we were like, oh hey, by the way, we have the wings, we can go and get, you know, the static Pokemon.
We literally almost didn't do that.
We legit didn't do it. I thought about it at the very last possible second, and on top of that, there's like an additional 4 or 5 encounters before the Elite Four, before we even get there.
Yeah.
That we could have instead of just the Articuno and Mudplayz pairing.
So why wouldn't we adjust that whole route too? You know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna change the legendary setup, why not just adjust the one route prior to the Elite Four and give you all ice types, or you know what I mean? You give you all one type in your route and give me all another type in your route. Why not?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. From someone that does Pokemon on YouTube, and out of the number of LPs that I've had, it's the first time that I've ever been accused of cheating in an LP, and it's just like, it's Pokemon. Like, what? Like maybe if Shady and I had one Soul Link pair left, then I could understand that's believable. But we already had 4 Soul Link pairs as it is, which is more than enough to get through the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, really? Like, you just sit there and shake your head like, really? You guys honestly think we set that pair up? Then on top of that, the other issue that some people had was the idea or the notion that Articuno and Mudplayz aren't a legal Soul Link pair, simply because they were not caught in the same place. Well, The thing about that is, I understand your logic. I understand where you're coming from. That's the idea. You know, every route that we go to together, we link the Pokemon from that route. If it's Route 1, one game, Route 1, another. The only issue with that is, number one, obviously I can't access the top of the tower because I don't have the Rainbow Wing. Then the whole argument is, well, in post-game Pewter City, you can get the opposite wing in those games. Only problem with that is we have to wait until that point at the game, and on top of that, when we go back, they're going to be level 70. And our Pokemon are nowhere near that level, so if we add level 70s to our team, then there's going to be a whole different portion of you guys that are going to complain because we have overpowered Pokemon on our team. And that's the only reason that we're winning, because we have these level 70s on our team.
Exactly.
And it's like, it's a situation where it's like no matter what we decide to do, we can't win. And at the same time, our thought process behind it was, these are the static Pokemon, which don't even count as encounters in that area.
Yeah.
They don't count. As you saw, Shady went and got a Whirl Island encounter, just like I did. The Burned Tower encounter didn't count because I couldn't actually access it. So if anything that you guys should be upset about, it's Shady didn't get his Burned Tower encounter because I didn't have access to the tower. But static Pokemon don't even count as encounters in that area.
Yeah, it's an additional encounter.
It's an additional encounter. So if anything, going through our games separately, those are the same static Pokemon. At that point in the game, those are the same static Pokemon. If you want to see it as like Mewtwo from Red and Blue, when Shady and I got to that point in the game, that's the static Pokemon that we had access to. So just like in Red and Blue with Mewtwo, or Articuno, or Zapdos, or Moltres, or whatever it's at, whatever location it's at this point in the game, this is the static Pokemon that you're given access to, and it's different because we have different versions. It's version exclusive.
Granted, they didn't implement that obviously in Gen 1. There was nothing like that. But I think you guys should be aware that in the rest of the generations, those do exist.
Groudon, Kyogre.
Yeah. So you can't. You basically have to make the decision. If that's something that breaks the series for you, I'm sorry, man. That's the.
And I mean, the only thing that I could still see people trying to pull a technicality on is like, oh well, Groudon and Kyogre are caught in the same place. It's a static Pokemon. The location doesn't matter. Like, that's simple as it gets.
It's
not
like
Shady's Burn Tower encounter. Lugia is not my Whirl Islands encounter. They're static Pokemon. And at that point in the game, whether you're playing Gold or Silver, that is the encounter that you have. Like, we can't control where they're at. That's just where they are. That's where Game Freak decided to put them.
Yep. And I know that people are going to be like, oh, well, in Gen 1, Soul Link, you linked Mewtwo with Mewtwo. You didn't link Mewtwo with Articuno like you were saying to me before, Nappy. But something you have to realize is the reason why we would never do that is because of the level difference. Like, it's not as if these static Pokemon are at different levels either. Like, yes, if you were to link like Mewtwo with the Articuno encounter, their levels are different significantly, aren't they? Isn't it like a 20 level difference? One's 50 and one's 70?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Mewtwo and Cerulean Cave. So that's another reason. If you want to try to make that argument that that's the only reason why we didn't link birds in different locations, did it for aesthetic reasons. To be honest with you, it's just natural. But at this point, like Nappy's saying, it's the static encounter available at this point in the game, and that's what it is.
That's just simple as it gets. On top of that, another reason we're doing this video is because a lot of you guys know this weekend Shady and I are both heading to PAX East in Boston. Hope to see a couple of you guys there.
Yeah.
But to that extent, Shady and I are bulk recording Soul Link to make sure that Soul Link is here and in your sub box on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No matter where Shady and I go in the world, you still have an episode of Soul Link.
Yeah.
So, we're bulk recording, and I will tell you guys right now, episode 19 went up yesterday, and Shady and I are getting ready to sit down and record episode 25 and 26.
Yep.
So, if you guys are honestly that mad and upset about Articuno and Moltres, you're going to have to deal with it for the next 5 to 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Because there's literally nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
We used Articuno and Moltres over the next 5 to 6 episodes.
And I think it's valid. I hope you guys can understand the points that we're making, and to still, just like we had said before, everyone that thought that we set it up, that's just, if you don't want to watch the series anymore, it's just like, I can't believe you guys would think that. Like, It's Pokemon. It's really like Nappy said. He's done so many LPs, and this is the first time he's getting accused of cheating. Like, why?
Ever.
Why?
Ever. I have 30 plus Pokemon LPs on my channel. This is the first time anyone's ever accused me of cheating. There was a time I did Blaze Black, and I actually lost, I think it was an Ursaring and a Galate in the grinding montage. And I completely forgot about it because I did grinding like 4 days ahead of time.
Yeah.
And everyone called me on it, and I literally dropped them that episode. And I was like, it was just a mistake. I completely forgot that they died in the grinding montage because I did grinding 4 days ago. And now it's just like, you guys are accusing us of trying to set Pokemon in the game?
So much work, too. We don't have that. You see how many videos Nappy records? You think he has time to sit there and randomize the ROM perfectly like that? Like I said, you'd have to go back and adjust all the routes. It's not plausible. It's not.
Well, either way, what's done is done. And like I said, the next couple episodes are already recorded. So if you guys honestly have that big of an issue with it, sorry. I hope that you still enjoy the series. If it breaks the series for you, then thank you for your support so far.
Yep.
And if you guys are looking forward to the next episode of Soul Link, it'll be up tomorrow over on Shady's channel. But with that, I believe we've addressed all the issues that have arisen from yesterday's episode.
Yeah.
And are you ready to record episode 25?
I'm ready. I'm ready to record. Just really quick, we love you guys. For the people that are supporting, it's we know that not all of you guys think this, but we did need to address it because there is a good amount of people in the comment section. But we know there's a lot of you guys that are still tugging along from the Shady people and the Nappy Nation. So thank you guys for your support. But we're ready. We're going out.
Yeah. So we're gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for your support, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.